What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, YouTube. Today I want to take this time to talk about a question I got from someone the other day. Hit me up on Instagram and asked me, when is the right time to get in the oil field, you know what I mean, and if it's a bad idea. But I have to say, you can't really try to time the oil field, because it's like a process, you know what I mean. So what I told him right now, in the oil field, is pretty much a good time to come in the oil field. You know what I mean? You make some money. See, everybody's getting busy. Sandbox is getting busy, But when you're coming in the oil field, you have to either decide which one you're going to be, a owner operator or you're going to be a company driver. You know what I mean? Currently I'm a company driver, but I aspire to be a owner operator pretty soon, and I will be tracking that progress with you guys and taking you through all the steps. And I'm going to do everything myself, like forming the LLC, the bank accounts, everything I'm going to do by myself, you know what I mean, because I have some experience in setting up business and all of that, you know what I mean. So I'm going to be doing all of that by myself, and I will take you guys along for the ride, you know what I mean. So could save you guys some money. So but we get to the question, the question that I got. So the question was, when is the right time to be in the oil field, you know what I mean. And I said to him that right now is a good time to be in the oil field. Reason being, things are picking up, you know what I mean. Some people say it was slow, but man, all year last year was one of the best year for me, in terms of work and everything. Like we was busy all in us all year long, you know what I mean. And this year started off so good too, you know what I mean. I couldn't believe it. So I told him that right now is the best time to come in the oil field, So for instance, if you guys live like out of town, you know what I mean, if you guys live somewhere up north or somewhere in the US, you know what I mean, and you want to come in the oil field, there's a lot of companies that's hiring, and they will willingly, they will train you for one, and they also will provide housing, you know what I mean. And they might take something out of your paycheck, to cover housing, but it's not as expensive as if you would come here by yourself and get yourself an apartment, you know what I mean. Out here, these guys been chopping off heads, with these apartments. You can get a one bedroom for almost $1,500, $1,000, man. That's a lot of money just to spend on living, you know what I mean, for a single man that's gonna spend most of his time in the truck anyway. So I told him that now is a good time to come in the oil field, Let me go get this paperwork signed, and then I'll be jump back right on with you guys. Alright, I'm back, guys. Yeah, so as I was saying, now is a good time to be out here in the oil field. So if you're wondering, like how can I get a job out here now? The easiest way to find a job out here in the oil field is basically to go online. And I've been looking, online for like different jobs and the pay and all of that for the past couple of weeks or a couple of months, to say. And I see Indeed and Craigslist is a great source, you know what I mean, for information. A very good source for information. And Indeed, I try to use Indeed mostly because sometimes Craigslist, they have a lot of spams and all of that. So I try to use Indeed, and I see they're hiring drivers for everything, man. Alright, take for instance, I'm a company driver, but I drive for a chemical company. So I haul hazmat load and FR, friction reducers for the oil field, you know what I mean. So at my company, they're not hiring right now, but when they're hiring, they normally start drivers off at $25 an hour, and $25 an hour plus the additional benefits that come when you're working in the oil field. You normally get the 401k match, you get health insurance, life insurance, you also and different investments in terms of like IRA, Roth IRA and all of that, you know what I mean. So those benefits normally standard with most oil field jobs. So it just depends on the one you choose, you know what I mean. But all in tanker in the oil field, you're looking at about anywhere from $23 to about $29-30 an hour, and you know that based on experience, you know what I mean. But you have a lot of companies, when you go on the website or when you go on, you search the job description online, it normally tell you that, man, we need 2 years experience and all of that, you know what I mean. But as I said, you know, it won't hurt to try to apply to them, you know what I mean. They're willing to train you, and because of the shortage of drivers now, they will take you with 6 months or a year experience, you know, and train you, you know what I mean. You just need to get your endorsement if you're doing chemicals, or you know, you're gonna need hazmat and you're gonna need your tanker endorsement, you know what I mean. And another way to make money in the oil field, for if you don't have the experience and also you don't have a hazmat, is water hauling. Water hauling is good in the oil field because, man, these people use water like crazy, you know what I mean. So water hauling, those guys make a lot of money, and the thing to it is they pay you less. They start you off about, say, $16, sometimes $17 an hour, you know what I mean, and it might go up to like $22 an hour, and that's based on your experience, you know. So, but with that, you get a lot of hours, even though legally you're supposed to can do like 70 hours, you know what I mean. But when you're out here on the lease road, these are all private properties, you know, so you don't have DOT out here. So these guys are out here, man, for 14-16 hours shift, man, just running, you know, because most of the time they don't really need to go on government pavement, you know what I mean. They just be on the lease roads for a lot of the time, just hauling water from location to the, you know, to different sites and all of that. So they get a lot of hours, but they get paid cheaper. But you know, those you work out in the end, you know, you make your money in the end. And flatbed, you have companies here that do a lot of flatbeds, and with flatbeds, they normally chemical companies will hire you, so you still might need a hazmat too, you know, because you're gonna be delivering totes and bulk packages, like dry bulk package to the oil field, you know what I mean. So you might need the CDL. Some company will hire, not the CDL, your hazmat. Some company will hire you without the hazmat, but man, but you wouldn't make as much as if you have a hazmat, you know what I mean. And then what I see a lot of nowadays, like what you can tell when the oil field is picking up, is sand trucks, you know. For the past couple of weeks, I would say, past couple of months, since November, you know, going into December, I started seeing a lot of sand trucks, man. Like the sand trucks that all the boxes, and you have the numeric tankers, man. I've been seeing a lot of them, so you know that work is picking up, you know what I mean. And then when you go online, when you type in Midland, Texas oil field job, you're gonna see a whole lot of sandboxes, and sand companies hiring people to become owner operator, and you know, and as a company drivers with them, you know what I mean. And most of those, sometimes those companies are just some logistic company that just need sand to move, and they have a few trucks laying around, or they hire a few owner operator. And you have a lot of owner operator who's signed on to some of these big sand companies where it might have 5 or 6 trucks, and they, you know, they're looking for drivers too. So the sandboxes and sand is a great way to get in the oil field. You just need some a year or 2 experience with trailer, you know, truck and trailer experience, and they will train you too, you know what I mean. Everything out here, they're willing to train anybody, man. Once you can drive, they're willing to train you. But you know, it would be good if you're coming out here with know to drive standard, as in manual transmission, you know what I mean, because most of the trucks out here are manual. Very few companies might have automatic, you know what I mean. It's just because of the terrain and all of that, you know. So a lot of companies they don't out here don't care for the automatic trucks. And another thing too that you can make money from as a company driver is the belly dump. Those belly dump trucks, basically they could call them dumper trucks. They carry like cleachy. Cleachy is something like maul or something like that they put on the pads. So every rig they're gonna drill, or every rig site that they're gonna set up, they're gonna need, a pad, like a building pad for that site. And you have a lot of dump trucks. You have to be transporting sand or cleachy to the pads them, and those guys stay busy, because they have to do the roads too, the lease roads. They have to bring cleachy for the lease road. They have to bring cleachy for the pads. So any building, if somebody building the metal buildings, they're gonna need to build a cleachy pad. So those guys stay busy, but they'll pay you cheaply. But you run, they work you, so you make your money that way too, And then you go on to the big guys them now. Two more ways you can make money. And the second to last would be I would say heavy haul. You have heavy haul guys out here. If you have heavy haul experience, you have a lot of people that hire you. Because to set everything that's on a rigs and a well site have to be transported to and from that well site when the job complete. When the beginning and the completion of the job. And you have a lot of big rig companies. You can get hired on to. If you have the experience, you can get hired on. They pay good. Really not sure. Last night I was looking and I see a few companies that do those big rigs, and they was paying good. They normally put like 110, 120,000 a year plus. So it just all depends on work, but they make good money in doing rigging up and rigging down the rigs, And then the final way is crude oil, and that's what I want to get into as an owner operator. And as a company driver, you can still make money. I think it's one of the hardest one out of all. The chemicals not hard, sand not hard, But the crude oil is a little bit more tedious in terms of it. You have a lot to it, So because you basically have to go to your batteries and check your battery, and you have to test the chemical, you have to test the crude oil, and you have a lot of risk to it, and it's also an hazmat too, and there's a lot of danger while that, you have this H2O, you have H2O gas, which is, deadly, and they normally find that around that in that vicinity, But crude oil, normally the drivers, the companies them, in order to get good crude oil drivers, they don't want to, they're not paying by the hour. They would pay you sometimes a percentage of what the truck make, or they normally give you a set amount in terms of a cap. So basically they will tell you, okay, you can get anywhere from 2,500 to 3,500 a week as a company driver, And that's not bad, The harder you run, the more money you will make, And they have a lot of safety bonuses and all of that too, And they do the same 401k, health insurance, and the whole work. So crude oil is where I want to be when I'm becoming an owner operator. So that's my aim right now. And if you, as a person watching this video, and you already own your own truck, and you want to become an owner operator, and you don't know what to get started with, man, I said the easiest thing to get into out here as an owner operator is sand. And the easiest one is, I guess, the sand boxes, which you just drop a note basically, And with the sandboxes, those companies will hire you like that. They normally advertise, start work immediately, But they normally go through 2 days orientation and all that. But they can get you up and running within a week, They start picking up loads and all that. But that's one of the most riskiest one, and it's the cheapest paying one. Which, as an owner operator, they tell you, they advertise that you make anywhere from, they started at 6,000 to 10,000 a week, as an owner operator. So you're looking about anywhere from 20,000 to 32,000 a month, But that's gross, and they said that you will get anywhere between 3 to 4 loads a day. But you see the problem with the sandbox and the 3 to 4 loads a day that they tell you that you will get, everything is not set in stone, you know what I mean? And when on the location them, I notice you have a lot of wait time for the sand drivers, you know what I mean? So when they come to the location, you will see a long line of sand truck drivers just sit and waiting, you know, which, you know, that gonna help you, that gonna prevent you from basically doing 3 to 4 loads a day, because you only can work a certain amount of time for the day, you know what I mean? And if you have paper logs, that most of the companies them won't hire you, so that's that. So you're gonna have to be running with the ELD, you know, these electric logs. So when you go on, sometimes I see where the sandboxes are, the numeric sand truck drivers, they sit for hours, man. Like the sandbox is a little bit better, but the numeric tankers, sometimes they sit for 4 hours before they get offloaded, and it take them probably another 45 minutes to an hour to offload too, you know. And you only can work 12-14 hours a day, you know what I mean? So they're telling you that you make 3 to 4 loads a day. Sometimes it can be done, but a lot of times it won't happen, you know what I mean? So that will cut into your money, you know what I mean? And you get paid by the load, not by the mile, you know? So that's another thing to look out for as an owner operator going in the sandbox. You will make money. And chemical hauling, you have a very few third-party companies that's basically employed owner operators, and those guys make killing, man. At my current job right now, they have about 3 or 4 flatbed owner operators who is leased on to, who's working for our company, but they're working under another company. So basically we basically hire another company, and them hire some owner operators to be the drivers, you know what I mean? And those guys, talking to one of them the other day, and they make about 6,500 gross a week. And man, those guys don't do much, because a lot of times they sit 2 days, don't have even a load to go out, you know, but it still is guaranteed because it's contracted work. And I think they do like a year contract with them every time, and they get like 6,500 a week, you know what I mean? But you have to take into consideration when you lease onto a company, they normally take 18 to 30% of whatever you gross with the truck, you know, and then you cover your own. You're gonna have like your insurance, your taxes, and you're gonna have your fuel, and then the little maintenance that the truck need to get done with the truck, you know. And you know that will be that gonna be about, probably, you know, you probably make, as an owner operator, take home about 3-5 a week. So you know that almost 12,000 a month, which that's not bad, you know. That's not bad after all expense, as in your taxes, your maintenance, the truck payment, and the broker or the dispatchers, them get their cut, you know what I mean? So $10,000 to $12,000 a month is not bad take home, you know. So they're making a killing. And then the chemical guys too, that work for my company, that's doing the same thing I'm doing, but they own their own trucks. Those guys are making the money. They're making about 10,000 a week, you know. And that, all they do, most of the times, all they do is just drop a hook. So they will take a tanker to the field, drop it, pick another one up, you know. And they make good money. They make good money. They live okay, you know. They live okay. So that's not a bad, you know, it's not a bad thing to go into. But the ones them that really make the money is the crude oil drivers. You know what I mean? Those are the ones who make killing as an owner operator. But doing lease operator with doing lease with them, like you have like a big pilot flying J, like pilot flying J. I called them up the other day, you know, because I saw they had a lease operator. They have some lease operator in position available, you know. And man, Man, they're so crooked. Man, I couldn't believe it. Like, when I talked to the recruiter, all right, they will provide you with the trucks, the equipment, and everything, right? And you're gonna pay, I think you're paying like $1,200 a week for the truck as a truck payment under the lease. Man, yeah, you go make the money, you know. And I asked him on average, at least operator, how much they make, because you know you're gonna be basically as an owner operator, so you pay for maintenance, you pay for your fuel, you pay for everything for that truck, you know. And she was saying that as a lease on to them, you will make anywhere from 120 to 150,000 a year, you know. But that's gross. So I asked her normally average net, you know what I mean, and she said around $60,000 net. Why would I go take up the additional pressure for, you know, of working for them, and the additional stress that come with own and operating your own vehicle? You know, why would I really go take up that stress? You know what I mean? And I can sit here working where I'm working and making 120,000 a year as a company driver where I don't have any headaches. So I was talking to her some more. So I was really wanted to find out what really is their deal. You know what I mean? And how you can really make money leasing on to one of those companies is basically get a second driver with you. So while I was talking to her, you know, because you get a second driver with you, you hire a second driver, right? And then you guys you do it you hire him and pay me by W2 anyway you want to pay him, but you hire a second driver so that truck can work 24 hours. You know what I mean? So you sleep seat that truck. And that's how you will make some good money. You know what I mean? So that's how you will make money if you do a lease out here, because the lease gonna stay the same. You know, the lease gonna always be the same $1,200 a month plus other fees that they charge and all of that. You know what I mean? So you get a second driver with you. Then now you can make twice the amount one person would make with just the same amount of expenses. You know? So that's not bad, you know what I mean? But man, if you're gonna do it by yourself, yeah, you will get ripped off. You would better off become a company driver, you know what I mean? So that's another way how you can make some money in the oil field. But as I said, you can find the job. You just have to go on Craigslist and Indeed, and you'll find the job and apply for as much as you can. You know, and if you're out of town, out of state, you know, you just ask them about the housing, you know, and they will. Most of the companies here would either have housing for their drivers, or they can suggest it to your man camp where they might pay 50% of it too, and you can pay, you know, the other difference, which might not be as bad, you know what I mean? But it's like a little bit camping. You gotta be camping, or if you have your own means of transportation of housing, like a RV or something, you hook it up to your truck and you bring it out here and you get a spot, RV spot. They normally go about $350 to $450, $500 sometimes for the spot, you know, with all bills included, you know what I mean? So that's not a bad way to go, you know. But definitely now is the right time. I think it's a good time, not the right time, but it's a good time to be out here. If you're in another state where you're not making any money, or you can't even find a job, man, look in the oil field. You'll find something out here. When the time comes and when the oil field is going down, all you do again, you find yourself somewhere else, you know. Just go where the money is. And as I said, I'm gonna start putting up some more videos. You know, I'm gonna try to get this camera thing work out where I can do a lot of videos where I'm on the field, and you know, give you a little synopsis of what I really do, or what the oil field really entail, to see if you want to do it or not. And you know, we'll take you along with my journey, you know what I mean, and that will probably give you guys an insight. And if you guys have any questions, put them in the comments below, and then if I can't get to answer it on the comment, I will either make a video for you guys, and I'm gonna try and go live sometimes and see you know, what works, you know, while I'm on the road sometimes. So as I said, just like and subscribe and follow me, and I will be putting out some content. And man, just let me know like things you guys wanted to know. If I don't know it, if I don't have any first-hand knowledge of it, I can find out for you guys, you know. So it won't take me anything to get the information, you know what I mean? So as I said, big up myself and take care until another time again. Thanks for tuning in, you know what I mean? Big up.